am going to be chatting about the 5 most important things that that we all need to be focused on each and every day, each and every week, in order to ensure that we get to our next level. So I talk a lot about getting to that consistent 5 figures, because a lot of the women that I talk with and a lot of women that are in my community, their biggest desire is getting to that $10,000 mark. So if that's you, I would love to say, yes, that's me. Raise your hand, like post in the chat box if you're like, yes. Some of you and some of the women that I work with, their goals are to get to 15 or 20 or even beyond. So it doesn't really matter where you're at. This is a formula that, again, we all need to be zeroed in on. So welcome, Melissa. Happy to have you here. Met me at Boss Ladies. Awesome. Love Chelsea. Bree, what's up? Hi. Redondo Beach. So happy you're here. Okay, cool. So you guys, while we're live here and while I'm chatting, if there's questions that come up, just type them into the chat box. There's going to be time at the end for Q&A. And so don't feel like you need to hold back, or if there's something that I'm talking about and even in real time, just go ahead and write that. And then just to give you a little lay of the land, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things, and then I'm going to be sharing, as promised, a little behind the scenes of what I've got going on here and, how I have grown so quickly over the last 6-7 months since launching this coaching business. And then I'm going to be sharing a super cool offer that I'm really excited about. So make sure you stick around with that. This is the best offer that I have put out there, with 99% certainty that I will probably ever put out there to work with me privately one-on-one. So be sure to stay for that. Okay, so let's dig in. And for all of you, I know there's quite a few people on here. So if you have not introduced yourself yet, open your chat box, say hello. And as well, if you're watching online on the Elevate group, please just say hi, say I'm here. And then we will dive in. I'm just gonna take a little sip of water here. If you guys don't have a notebook in front of you or a piece of paper and a pen, go get it, because you will want to take notes. So get yourself settled. And you know what? I am just feeling really called to start off with a prayer. So I do this sometimes, not all the time, but if you're with me here, just get your feet flat on the floor. We're going to do this, pretty quickly. Take a deep breath and out through the nose, out through the mouth. Dear Spirit, Source, Universe, we just thank you so much for this time together. We ask that all the women that are on this call and any that will end up seeing this through a live replay or recording, we just ask that you infuse them with light and love and a direct knowing that they are here to do their best work and that they are meant to, and that they are available to receive an energetic exchange in the form of money for their services. We know that these women are so powerful and so good at what they do, and that in whatever ways they are holding themselves back or unlocking or need a little unlocking, we ask that you support in that process. And we just thank you so much for this time. Amen. Okay, so let's dive in. First, before I do that, I do just want to say that I am speaking to, on this webinar, service-based women entrepreneurs who are in creative fields. So if you are a creative woman and you have a product or something like that, there's a lot in here that will make sense to you, but there's some things that you'll need to tweak. If you are in a more professional field, so you're an accountant or a bookkeeper or a real estate agent, I do work with a lot of those women, and some of this stuff will make sense, but not all. Those of you that are out there servicing your clients, so stylists, professional, organizers, interior designers, consultants, coaches, graphic designers, photographers, this information is directly for you. So the 5 things that we all need to be focused on every single week, write these down. Number 1, your mindset. and up-leveling your wealth consciousness. If you've been around and watched any of my stuff for a while, you know this is a topic that I get crazy fired up about and talk a lot about. I am going to keep it very short and sweet for this webinar because I have talked so much about this. But number one, money mindset and up-leveling your wealth consciousness. The second thing that we all need to be focused on every single week, and to the extent that it's supportive every single day, building and growing your community and your following. Number three, nurturing your community and your following. Number four, making offers to your community and your following. And the last one, closing sales and transacting with your community and your following. So I'm going to dive into each one of these, and my intention is that you all leave with at least 2 takeaways and 2 action steps from each one of these categories. Well, mindset is number one, and in my opinion, the most important piece of this. I am going to leave that one to the end because I talked so much about it. If you guys weren't on my last webinar, which I think was about a month ago, go back into the Elevate Facebook group and watch that. It was an entire hour specifically on money mindset and wealth consciousness. So I'm giving away a lot of free content around this. I talk about it a lot. I have a Money Matters workbook that you can find both on my website and if you're on my Instagram, on my Linktree. So there's content quite a bit around this topic. So I'm going to dive into the second one, building and growing your community and your following. So, all right. I find that a lot of the women in my community and in this creative community are really, really focused on the numbers of their Instagram feed. And if you were on my Facebook Live yesterday, I talked a lot about let's shift our focus from being so focused on just the numbers and shifting them over to your email list. So here's the deal. Numbers are important. Yes, like I've been around enough bloggers, enough people, influencers and whatnot to really get that, yes, numbers have power. That being said, if you're only focused on your Instagram number, you're not focused on a large enough group. So when we start kind of serving and nurturing our clients from multiple different avenues, so maybe Facebook and and Instagram and email, they start feeling like they're seeing us everywhere. And that is what we want, right? We don't want to be annoying, and I get that. And when you're targeting them from multiple different avenues, you are increasing your exposure. So building and growing your community and your following. To effectively grow your community, you've got to know your community. So I also talk about this quite a bit, and I get really fired up because it is a foundational piece to growing your business and having your marketing be effective. So that is knowing your ideal client. Who is she or he? What is it that they most desire? What is their biggest pain points and what is their biggest challenge? And when you can start creating messaging and servicing them and creating a solution to their biggest pain point through your online portals, through in-person networking events, etc. When you can start creating messaging around this, you can start converting and growing your community that much faster. Is this making sense? If it is, say yes. If it's not, please ask specific questions or clarifying questions so that I can support you. So you really want to dig in and know your community. And this one comes from just working with them enough and, having direct experiences from them. It also comes from going out and asking them. So currently right now in my group coaching program, Thrive, I'm having all of the women in there go out and do what I call ideal client interviews. And these are gold. So you literally go out and you talk to women or men that you think you would want to work with, and you ask them, What is it that you want? What is it that you're struggling with? What is it that you most desire? What would you pay anything to have go away? You know, what does an ideal day look like for me? If you're a health coach, you would ask questions such as, you know, what are you struggling most with your food? What are you afraid of in terms, you know, so you can get more detailed depending on your particular industry or your topic. The other thing that I'll say about growing your email list is the best way to do that, the best way to have your Instagram followers or your social media followers turn into your email list is to create an awesome opt-in. So if you don't know what an opt-in is, it's a free giveaway. It's my current opt-in that is converting well is my Money Matters workbook. And I currently have that on, you know, my website, my Instagram. I share it on my Facebook page every once in a while. I have it on my Facebook group. Those are converting organically. And then I'm starting right now to play around with Facebook ads. So I'm actually paying for some conversions. So in order to grow your list organically, come up with some free opt-ins, create a solution to your client's problem, and then offer that, talk about it, it's free, and get them converted to your email list, and then start nurturing them on your email list, which we'll talk about next. Okay, so any questions about building and growing your community or your following? If you do, type them in and I'll come back to them. If not, we're gonna go on to the third bullet point, which is nurturing your community. All right, so this is actually a bullet point that so nurturing your community. Deanna, I see your question, I will answer that. So most women that I work with are actually awesome at nurturing their community. Typically, when someone comes to work with me, either privately or in my group, they already have a blog, or oftentimes they already have a large Instagram following. They're already part of a community. Most of the women that I work with aren't completely starting from scratch. If you are, I'm going to give you some ideas. And this is an area that I feel like is talked about so much in the creative community of nurturing, writing, you know, articles, blogs, etc. And so for those of you that are, you know, just starting or don't feel like you're great at doing this, there's so many ways that you can do this, and you have to just really find what works for you. Blog posts, emailing your audience and saying, hey, I've got this blog post, Instagram post, Facebook group, going to networking events, speaking at different events. You can really actually study what I'm doing. And I've got a lot of different moving parts right now, but you can choose the ones that feel the best for you. Facebook Lives, webinars, right? So there's all these different ways that you can nurture your list. And the truthfully is like the more content and the more free content you give away. And if you are good on video or you get good on video, the more that your clients are going to see you, know you. People buy from people that they like and they trust. So the more that you can share of yourself and get your personality out there and show your clients who you are before they even, you know, sign up with you, the greater conversion you're going to have. Again, questions specifically about this? Like I'm really curious, you guys, like, what are you guys currently doing to nurture your community? And also, like, what are things that you have thought about doing, but you may, you may just be wondering, like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I know you've all got them. So let's hear those questions on that. Deanna, so what kind of opt-in for real estate? That's a great question. So, Mike, do you focus specifically in a certain area or a certain product type? So my background is in selling apartment buildings, and I would say, like, giving out like a free comp of, like a free, like, these are all the properties that have sold in the area, or you could do a free rent survey, or you could do I'm just trying to think about, if you're, I don't know exactly what type of real estate. If you're a residential real estate agent, you could do like free ways to stage your house prior to selling, or 10 tips you could say like 10 things you need to know before hiring a real estate agent. Here are the questions to ask. Those are actually some good ones. Like everyone wonders, like, how do I interview 3 people? Or, what should you do if you're thinking about selling, etc. Okay, so Melissa says, it seems that Facebook numbers are down and people aren't looking at blog posts. Okay, so Melissa, tell me a little bit more about what you mean. Like, how are you, what do you mean Facebook numbers are down? Like people aren't liking your Facebook posts, or, and that Instagram is where it's at? Yes. Okay, so I thought the same thing too. And I do agree with you that it depends on your industry. So this is about knowing who your ideal client is, right? So if your ideal client is a corporate woman in her mid 40s, chances are she's not going to be on Instagram and she's still going to be on Facebook. If your target market is, a mompreneur who is in their early 30s, that mom most likely is going to be on Instagram. So I hear you that that yes, people are definitely phasing away from Facebook and they're really on Instagram, but you have to know who your ideal client is and know who they are. That being said, I had the same reservation when I first started. I was like, I don't even want to go to Facebook, and I didn't. I just totally stayed on Instagram for the first 4 or 5 months. And then I decided to start a private Facebook group and just start posting on Facebook. I can tell you that I have received speaking engagements and clients specifically off of nurturing my Facebook community. And I'm working with creative women entrepreneurs who are all of them are on Instagram. So it has to feel right for you. It has to feel like it's, you have to feel like you're doing the right thing for your business. If you write one post on Instagram, post it on Facebook, and then create an email about it and post it there. It's not about having to redo content in multiple different phases, but it is about repurposing and really targeting people from multiple different areas, because people are so busy and there's so much information coming at all times. I promise you, if you send 2 emails a week, you're lucky if one person opens one of them. All right. So, don't want people to start getting overwhelmed. Yeah. So if someone is voluntarily following you or signing up for your email, they're asking for your content. They can always unsubscribe, and it's important for them to always be able to unsubscribe, but they're choosing to opt in. They're literally saying, hi, I want your information. And as long as you're keeping your information interesting and, look, I have people unsubscribe every single time I send out an email. I also have at this point 10 to 20 people subscribing almost every single day to my email. So there's going to be ebbs and flows. But why I'm so big on email, and I know I'm kind of drifting off here, is that this is the one thing that we can actually control and keep. Algorithms, as we all know, are so wonky on social media. Facebook was all the rage. What was it, 3 years ago? And now it's nobody's on it. And all you see is Facebook ads, and everybody's on Instagram. And then Instagram completely changes. And you're like, shit, I'm only getting 70 likes and I used to get 300, right? It's we have no control over these things. And if you can get their emails, it literally can stick with you for a long time. I'm emailing women in real estate that I think would value my content, that I've had their emails for 10 years. Some of them have unsubscribed. Some of them are still opening my emails every single time I send an email. So it's an email list is something that can go with you. And also, I'll just say that, someone purchasing, whether it's I don't know the exact statistics, and I need to get them, but people don't purchase straight off social media. People purchase off of Instagram. People purchase off of emails. So in a much greater way. So converting cold traffic to your email list and then nurturing them in that way while still showing them things on social media is the way that I'm doing it, is the way that's working, is the way that I've been taught, is the way that I'm seeing my peers do it. And any internet marketer out there will share with you that this is the direction to go. So hopefully that's helpful. And I'm totally helpful, here to hear your objections or support you in kind of working through your own perspective and getting over that hump. Okay, so Bree, I've really been toying with the idea of doing a podcast. Thoughts on how well that goes in terms of nurturing community? I think it's awesome. I think it's great. It depends on how much ease and flow you can create that podcast with. So if it's easy for you, then by all means, I would suggest, sure, do it. Bree, just knowing what I know of your situation, my intuition is that you're still a little early in the game to be doing the podcast. I'd want to see you grow your business, grow your followers, grow your conversion rates, and really grow your community prior to the podcast. So that's my hit. That's my hit for you. And then Deanna asks how often to post. Is there a time frame or a day that's better than others? Deanna, are you talking specifically about Instagram or Facebook or what? So give me that specific and I will come back. So I'm just seeing that the time is just like going away. So we're nurturing your community. So there's obviously a lot that we can talk about. And yes, there is strategy in this. And obviously one of my big strategies is, converting to email lists. There's also something to be said about tuning into your intuition and going, okay, what is my goal here? What is my purpose? Like, why am I doing what am I doing? For most everybody on this, and every woman in business, it is to make money. So when you're thinking about nurturing your community, you want to think about, how do I serve my community? How do I offer up good content? How do I do this to grow my following? And how do I make money? And that leads us to our next point, making offers. So this is an area that I get super psyched about, because while a lot of the women that I work with are great at nurturing their community, they're not great at making offers. So think of it like this: you nurture, and then you offer, right? So you want your community to feel like you're giving and giving and giving, and you are literally giving. You're showing up every single day. You're showing up, you're doing your part, you're posting, you're sending out that email, you're offering interesting content, you're giving them good juice, and then you give them an offer so that it doesn't feel like you're selling them. It feels like you are literally giving them an offer to purchase from you and to work with you, which they most likely want to on whatever level anyways, but they're never going to unless you offer it to them. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you have any resistance to this? Are there any limiting beliefs that you have around this? I was working with one of my clients the other day. She's a professional organizer. She's been doing it for a long time. She has a great community. Her business has been referral based. She's never put together, never is a long time. She rarely puts together an actual offer to send out to her community. And I've been on her for years to put together an email list and a newsletter list and this and that. Long and the short of it, I was on a session with her. I said, girl, just put together a holiday special. We put together $1,000 special, which would have normally been $1,300 or $1,400. I kid you not. The woman went out and made this offer to 50 of her clients, and she has made $8,000 in 5 days that she had no idea where that was going to come from. When you're not in front of people and offering them things, they're going to go in another direction. So when you know your client, you know their challenges, you know their quote unquote problems, and you believe that you have a solution to it, yes, nurture them. Yes, give content, and then give them an opportunity to purchase from you. Okay, so this also takes you getting visible, right? Which is a big hang up I find for a lot of women, is that, it's easier just to kind of hide behind writing a blog post and giving content than it is to really share of yourself, get visible, and say, hey, here's who I am, and here's the package that I'm offering you. The last piece of this is closing sales. So I could probably spend an entire day on closing sales, just about, doing an effective discovery call and, and really having your client, be talking more than you're talking. If you're in real estate, this is, something that's trained a lot on. And I actually should do an entire training specifically on sales. I'd love to actually hear your guys' questions on sales. But I will say that in the end, sales is an art and not a science. So I have never been one in all of my years in real estate, and now, in the coaching, I've never been one to run with like scripts or come up with like specific objections. Like, I really believe that like when you're centered in your heart and you're coming from a place of service and you genuinely want to get to know about your potential client, and you're asking them questions, and this is talked about a lot. You kind of sit back in your chair, and you're not hungry. You're not like, there's not the vibration that you're just like going after the sale, but that you're really just like, you're really sitting back and you're listening to your potential client, and you are, figuring out, is this a good match? Is this a good match for us to work with? Can I really, serve this person to the highest degree? And am I the right fit? And so you ask clarifying questions, you understand where they're coming from, you listen to their potential objections, and then you say from a heartfelt place, like, what questions do you have for me? And most likely they'll say things like, well, how do you work? What is your price point? Do you think we'd be a good match? And then from that place, you get to answer their questions that they're really curious about, instead of you like kind of giving a sales pitch. Does that make sense? If it does, let me know. Thank you, Deanna. Okay, so any other questions from the 5 things that we all need to be focused on? And here's the deal. It can be really easy to get super distracted. There's like all these different theories. There's all these different networking groups, especially if you're in Los Angeles. And the more that you can get crystal clear on what is it that you are up to, like what is it that you are, like, is it a certain number that you want to hit? Is it that $10,000? Like, are you like so, excuse my French, like fucking focused on that $10,000 a month that you're just like, your hair is on fire and you're like, yes, right? That doesn't mean that you become like a crazy person, slightly crazy, but it does mean that like every action step that you take is all about getting to your goal, getting to your intention, having it be fulfilled. And I'm going to go off on a tangent right now. This is my mindset piece. It's about getting so like in tune with, yourself and like what your intuition is saying, and asking spirit for support. So it looks something like this: Spirit, my clear intention is to bring in $10,000 this month. I am so excited about this. I'm so lit up about it. Here are the direct places that this money is going to go. Money is literally flowing through me in order to fund my taxes, my couch that I want to purchase, my nanny, whatever those pillars are, like have a place for the money to go, right? And then you ask, I am here, like, or you say, I am here to serve. I'm here to be of service. Who are the women or the men or the places that I am meant to serve, that I am meant to go in order to have this exchange, right? And so when you like listen, and I'm trying to remember, I've done like meditations and given specific examples of this. If that would be helpful for you, let me know and I can do another little like Facebook Live around it. But when you get really clear on where that money is going, and then asking, what is the next step for me to take? You women, you are intuitive. I know you are. And so when you get in touch with that and you hear, go do this, go take that next step, contact this person, make this offering, share your voice about this. You know, if you've been following me on emails, like I've been getting a little bit more ballsy recently with sharing some of my opinions, and it hasn't necessarily been easy. I've been like, I don't want to talk about, you know, I don't know. I don't want to ruffle too many feathers, or I don't want to tell people that I used to like judge them, or I don't like, there's just been a lot that's been coming up in me. But here's the deal, is that it is working. It's catching people's attention. And the better that I get, the better that you all get at sharing your voice, being authentic, and just being willing to put it out there in a loving and compassionate way. Like the more your women, the more that your clients are going to know you, vibrate with you, see you, resonate with you. Okay, the one other thing I'll say about mindset before we jump off this, and I want you all to go back to the Facebook Elevate group and watch the webinar specifically on mindset, because it is chock full with a lot of great stuff and a lot of great content. But for right here, you know, I think the most important thing when it comes to mindset is really like owning that you have created, taking full responsibility. Like you have created and called in everything that is currently in your life. So when you look around, and whether you like what you see or you don't like what you see, it's like on whatever level your soul, yourself has manifested this and created this. And so to the degree that you can fully own that, it really opens us up. It really opens you up to then also take full responsibility for the fact that you can change all of it. And that you really do have the power to go out and manifest and create and make happen and get strategic and whatnot to what it is that you want to create. The one other thing I'll say about mindset is that it is imperative that you stay in a high vibration and that you do whatever it takes in order to do that. So whether it's doing your morning affirmations, your your reading, your wealth consciousness reading, I give all of those books. I believe that's on the Money Matters workbook. My book recommendations, whether it is surrounding yourself with people that are going to, support your dreams, whatever that is for you. And one of the things that I do with my clients is get really clear on what's going to be the highest and, highest and best service. They're like keeping their vibration high. If it's going out and getting a coach, if it's going out and, to a personal development seminar, if whatever it is, it's like, we have to be so focused on this every single day. Because all of the old patterns, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the things that have held you back in the past, they will always be there. And that our job is to literally start taking dominion over our mind and to start reprogramming our system and reprogramming, our thoughts so that we can go out and create. So that when something tells you, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I can't charge that, or no one's going to buy from me, it's like, it's just not true. So when you do get clear on what the truth is that I'm of a service. The truth is that I feel called to do this. The truth is that, I am meant for greatness. Like the truth is that I have so much to offer. And the more that you continue affirming that to yourself and like literally getting it into your veins and your body, like the more that you can take action and the more that spirit will meet you in that place. Does that make sense? Please say yes if it does. And if you have specific questions, let me know. All right. Before I go into the background on, what's been going on around here behind the scenes and how I've grown this coaching business pretty quickly, I am going to share with you guys this offer. I am so excited about it. And here's why. So there's like a lot of power when I work with people one-on-one. If you've worked with me one-on-one, you know how much we can accomplish in just an hour or 2 hours. Doing these mini intensives, what I call them, which are 3 hours of private one-on-one coaching with me. it's like we can drill in so deeply to what it is that whatever it is that you have going on. So some of the things that the women that will come to me and that we work through are things like, they'll come to me and they'll say, I've been running my business for a while and at this point, I'm just really confused on which direction to go. I don't know my prices. I don't know my packages. I don't know my ideal clients. I really need help drilling these down and getting crystal clear on what my offering is, how to message that, and what the price point. Is this something that you would be interested in? Or is this something that you feel like you're needing? If it is, say yes, or feel free to raise your hand. Almost every single one of my clients that comes to me, this is something. So I have a feeling that a lot of you will resonate with this. For more professional types, I work with women in the intensive to walk away with a mapped out plan of their team. So how to leverage somebody, how to leverage yourself, how to hire your first or second or third assistant, how to hire junior people underneath you. Is it the right time to hire? Where to find your people, what to pay them, and then the exact hiring structure that I have used over the last 10 years that I've probably hired over 100 people in multiple businesses. And then really how to step forward into your business as a feminine leader. So that's kind of a topic that I'll work with someone, zero in on with somebody, and work with them in a 3-hour mini intensive. Other things that come up quite frequently, and I'm just sharing these for you so you guys can start thinking is this something that would be of service? Is this something, that I would potentially want to work with me on? I will work with them clearly on any limiting beliefs or blocks that they have that have been holding themselves back around money, around wealth consciousness. Sometimes it's around, conversations with their partner or beliefs that they've taken on from their mother or their father. And they will walk out with a, kind of a transformation, if you will, and really clear, grounded guidelines to how to keep that and how to move forward with it, and how to propel forward from kind of getting out of their own way, if you will. I've also worked with women on really mapping out a super clear and effective marketing plan. One of my clients has a pretty bustling business here in Los Angeles, and she was moving to Dallas. And we mapped out a crystal clear plan on how she's going to actually start her business in Dallas. Like I shared, one of the women last week came out of it and had a crystal clear plan and ended up going and making $8,000. So you get the point. I have a lot of, women sharing their experience on the lead page and the sales page for this. So if we can just get that posted in the chat box. So my normal 3-hour price point is $1,800 for a one-on-one intensive with me. And I'm actually going to be raising that to $2,200 by the end of this month, possibly sooner. So it's going to go from $1,800 to $2,200. You get a very in-depth workbook. You get, and then again, the 3 hours super focused strategic time with me. For 10 women, the first 10 women that sign up, I'm going to be offering it for $1,200. So it's currently a $600 slash in price, and coming in the next couple of weeks, it's actually will be $1,000 off. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check out all of the information on it. What I'm asking, which will get posted here in the chat box, if possible. No? Okay. Actually, Stephanie's saying that we can't post in the chat box. We will send out an email directly as this is over. And if you are on the Elevate group, we're posting the link in the Elevate box right now. If you're interested in it and that is a stretch for you financially, I hear you. What I am asking for is a 50% deposit right now. And then you can pay for the rest of it anytime up until the end of this year. So yeah, so that's it. 50% now to secure your spot, and then you can pay for the rest before the end of this year. So if that is something of interest for you, please jump in line and get, secure your spot. And again, just go ahead and check out all the details and also women's specific experience about, about the thing. I'll just end with this for this. I had one woman just have a lot of resistance to coming. She was like, it's a lot of, like, I'm spending $1,800, for 3 hours. And like, what exactly am I getting? She made the money back in 2 weeks. So if you have specific questions or you want to talk to me one-on-one about what you would get or what you could potentially, benefit from, then let me know and we can set up a quick phone call in order to do that. Okay. So moving on, to a little bit of background on behind the scenes of what I've got going on here. It's been a little humbling and also just really, really nice to get some people's feedback. People have been saying to me a lot recently, like, how have you grown so quickly? And I feel like you're everywhere and, you're killing it. And yes, that's so kind and it's so nice. And I have had success out of the gate, which has been awesome. And I want to share with you, the 3 most important things that I attribute that to. I have been following my own formulas. I've been walking my own talk. I've been doing my own morning meditations. I've been doing my own personal development. I've been, constantly focused on what is my goal and what is my focus and doing my very best to not get caught into like bright, shiny syndrome, whatever that's called, shiny object syndrome, which I have done. But as quickly as I can to continue coming back and pivot. Here's how I've made a consistent $10,000 to $20,000 a month since February. And then now, $40,000. Number 1, I've been smart and I've been strategic. So meaning, like I just said, I've looked at my goal and I've continued to ask myself, what is the fastest way that I can get there? What is the most effective way that I can get there? I do work with my own coach to get her experience and her guidelines. And, she's a specialist in specifically what I'm doing and to get her take on the marketplace in terms of what do I need to be doing to get to where I want to go? So that's number 1. I've been smart and I've been strategic. I do learn really quickly, and which I know that every woman on this call is smart. And I know that every woman on this call has the ability to be strategic with the right guidance, or just be strategic. Maybe you don't need guidance. I do, because I'm a coach. So I literally believe in the coaching industry. I know the power when we put our money where our mouth is. And when we say, I do this myself, I say yes, I know that I'm capable of doing this and I just need some support. I need some direction. So I've been smart and I've been strategic, and I've also gotten feedback. So it's I'll try something, and if it doesn't work, then I pivot and I don't make it about me. Maybe my feelings will get hurt, or, if I throw something out there and no one, responds, then maybe I'll need a day to kind of pick my feet back up. And then it's okay, what is the next avenue? What is the next strategy? What is the next marketing technique? What else can I do to move forward my goal? The second thing, so I've shared on this webinar, and a lot of you know that my background is in, commercial real estate. I have built a very, very successful career in that world. So I am coming into this business, a new business, with a very high level of wealth consciousness. And that has really supported me. I know that I'm good at what I do, and I know that I can have results, and I know that there's a lot of value in what I offer. And so, a lot of people gave me feedback at the beginning, you can't charge that, or you can't do this, or wow, you're really ballsy for doing that. And I did it anyways because I knew that if I charged anything less, that it wasn't an energetic match, and that I would start getting resentful, and I would start feeling like I'm like working way harder than what I'm earning. So if you're feeling that way, if you are feeling drained, if you're feeling exhausted, if you feel like you are not earning what you should, or you're doing way more for your clients than you're actually receiving, that is one of the first signs that you are not charging enough. When you feel super excited to get out of bed in the morning, and you feel so excited about your clients, and you're like, a hell yes, like that means that there is a clear energetic exchange happening, and all money is currency, and currency is energy. So when there is a clear energetic exchange, it means that you are in the right place. And that is one of the ways that I have, kind of hit the ground running right out of the gate. So, that's a big piece, and that is a huge piece that I work with the women that I'm working on, is really doing everything that is possible to increase their vibration. And that is done through both letting go of old stories and letting go of limiting beliefs, as well as taking constant, consistent action in moving them towards increasing their vibration, increasing their confidence, increasing their wealth consciousness, and charging their value. The last thing that I have done is leveraged myself. So this has always been something that I did in the real estate world. And, I'm not a one-man show. So at the beginning, I hired a branding specialist to help me get really clear on what was my vibe, what was my look, kind of what were my colors, if you will, what were my fonts. And I worked with someone for 3 months to support me in getting really clear on the branding. She also supported me in doing my website. And then I hired a full-time person. A lot of you know Stephanie. She's sitting right next to me. I'm not going to put the camera on her because she'll kill me if I do. She hates that. But you can hear her giggling. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to grow quickly, and I wanted support, and I wanted tech support. So I am not somebody that's going to spend 10 hours a day figuring out how to send out a MailChimp email. I'm not someone that's going to figure out how to write a quote unquote sales page, or even though Squarespace is so easy, and I can't believe it, but I can actually go in and edit my own website, which is like crazy town. Technology has gotten so user-friendly. I don't like to spend my time on that. So I like to be focused on where I'm best, connecting with clients, being on things like this with you guys, hosting webinars. I'm getting better and better at writing content. That's, an area of an opportunity for me. But it's like, I want to spend my time thinking about how can I grow my business, and not all the minutia of like invoicing and calendaring and all that stuff. So I have leveraged myself. And then I've also leveraged myself with hiring my own mentor. So that has basically been my team: is my mentor, my right-hand woman, Stephanie, who's, doing all the back end, and then my branding specialist, which I just worked with for a period of time. I will tell you that I am now playing around with Facebook ads and leveraging myself that way. I've got it kind of working, but I'm still getting better at that. So I'm learning a lot. I've learned a lot over the last couple of months with that. Now, I get that not everyone's in my position. So I basically took my, success in the real estate business and resources that I had in the real estate business, and I've used them to leverage myself. I get that not everybody has that, and I understand that I'm oftentimes in a unique position. If I didn't have that, here would be the options. Here would be my choices. And I'm sensing that potentially this may, if you're saying, well, Heidi, I don't have the ability to hire someone full time. Here's what I would do. I would either, number one, work more hours. So just to give you a sense, I have a 3-year-old son. It's important for me that I pick him up every day at preschool, and then I get to spend time with him. I pick him up every day between 4 and 5. I typically start my mornings anywhere between 8:30. If I'm having a great gym workout, then I may not start my day till 10. So every day I start somewhere between 8:30 and 10. My butt is typically in the seat. And I'm like behind my computer, planning out my day, doing a Facebook Live with you guys, posting something on Instagram, etc. Writing email content, getting on the phone with clients, blah, blah, blah. So I'm working anywhere, like I'm basically working between like 9 and 4 every single day. So I would either increase those hours and work more, and basically do a lot of the stuff that I'm having Stephanie do, or I would just be okay with growing slower. I would just say, you know what, like I'm not going to be everywhere all at once, or I'm not going to be able to be posting quite as often, or I'm not going to, you know, be able to kind of put it, get like all these offers right off the bat. I tell you one thing that I wouldn't be doing is decreasing my prices. I would still be charging the same amount. I would still be, you know, I would just probably have less leads coming in. Does that make sense? So I'd either be working more or just being okay with the fact, or, and this is a big one, you guys, or I would go and find the money to hire a part-time assistant or the strategist to push me in the next direction of my business. We are resourceful, we are capable, and here's the thing, when you believe in yourself, and you know that whether it's $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 that you need to push yourself forward, you will go and find that money. If I told you, if you spent $5,000 today, you would be able to make $50,000 on it in the next 6 months, would you go and find that $5,000? Probably yes. Like that would be like an insane investment not to make. So you would do whatever you needed to do to find that money to invest in yourself to grow your business. But what happens is that we get caught up in our stories and like, I'm not good enough and I don't know if it's going to work for me. And we hold ourselves back. So that's my rant. I've been going for quite some time. I see that there's a couple questions here. So I am going to, Catherine is asking, what time do you wake up to work out, and do your morning routine before starting work at 9? Yes, I hear you. Okay. So Catherine, here's the deal. On mornings that I work out, I typically get up at like 6:15 and I'll start working out at like 6:45, 7. And, you know, maybe I'll work out till whatever, half an hour. My husband takes care of Harrison in the morning. And I only work out during the work week. I work out 2 days a week. So that's only 2 days a week that I ask him to take him in the morning. And I either get to the gym, or sometimes I'll just go on like a 20 to 30 minute run. I then, on days that I work out like that, because I just have to get out of the house before Harrison sees me, or else he's like crying for me, and then I never can work out. On those days, I do my workout, and then I come home and I do my morning routine. I do an abbreviated version of my morning routine. So I don't do an hour of power these days. I coach people to do an hour in power, especially like if you have to make more money and you need to make more money and your sole focus is increasing your wealth consciousness, you need to spend an hour every single day on doing what I'm suggesting. I spend 15 minutes, like focus, zeroed in, and then I do some wealth conscious reading at night. So, and I'm cool with that. So if you can make it work for you in 10 to 15 minutes, awesome. If not, then you got to spend an hour. Does that work, Catherine? Does that answer your question? Let me know. Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to go back. I think there were a few more questions here. Deanna says, how often to post? Is there a time frame or day? Okay. Yeah. I'm going back to this one on Facebook. Okay. So I don't know do we know on Facebook if there's like a good time to post, or so on Instagram, and look, I'm going to be like, I'm not a social media expert. That is not my jam. I am an expert at turning your followers into paying clients. I'm not the go-to girl for growing your following. That being said, everything that I've heard and read, etc., is that 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and then 5/6 p.m. are the best times to post. I have to say I always question that, because I'm like, okay, it's 9 a.m. here in LA. I guess it's then 12 p.m. on the East Coast. we see more likes. We do see more engagement when we post during those times. I also see just as much engagement when I get up, and it's like one of the first things I do. If I get up and I'm like on my spin bike and I post at 7 a.m, there's a lot of engagement. So I think what happens is that if your followers tend to be, right where you are, and you're posting at 10 a.m, it's like they're already in their day. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and then Melissa says, I would love the meditation. Okay. So let's put that on the to-do list for Facebook Live. Melissa, I can commit to doing that next week. I'm doing Facebook Lives every Tuesday now at 9 a.m. Hopefully I can do that next Tuesday at 9 a.m. And I will walk you through a meditation. How does that sound? And then Melissa, you're also asking, do you have a younger clientele? Why Facebook ads instead rather than Instagram ads? So most of my clients are anywhere between the ages. Most of my clients are, well, I'll share this. My ideal clients that are just like, I would work with them all day long for free are between the ages of 28, 27 and 36. 37. I then have maybe even up to 40. I do have a group of clients that are a little bit older that already have very successful businesses in an array of different industries, real estate, bookkeeping, accounting. They're more professionals that come to me specifically for the leverage and for me helping them build out their team and structure. So I do have those women. That group, that slightly older group, is not as focused as growing online and branding and whatnot, which I get really excited about. So that's why, my ideal clients are that slightly younger age group. And that is a great question about Facebook ads versus Instagram ads. When I say Facebook ads, it's all the same. So we're testing out both. And I am just continuing to kind of learn about this. I am working with a Facebook ad specialist right now, and she's helping me. And we're being strategic about that. It costs quite a bit of money to run Facebook ads. And so really the kind of the theory is to start small and to start with just like a very limited budget every single day. And then when they get working, then you can start increasing your budget and then really like blow it out in terms of like different countries, different, slightly larger populations, age groups, etc. Does that make sense, Melissa? Yeah. When you do, and just so you know, I don't know if you've messed around with Facebook ads. When you do Instagram ads, it all funnels through Facebook ads. So you literally can post a Facebook ad and then on the back end, just say like, you're posting to these people, you're posting to Instagram, you're posting to these different like subsets within the ads. Let's see if Catherine, okay, so that helped Catherine. Awesome. And Catherine's working with me right now in my group program. If it's supportive, and I don't know if I've done this. I know I've shared it quite a bit other places, but so we've got our hour of power that I'm coaching in the group coaching program. And then I also am so happy to share with you, Catherine, and anyone else that's on here that's in the program. We can walk through the my abbreviated 10 to 15 minute version on those days that you just don't have an hour to just like zero in and get really focused. So we can do that. All right, ladies. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. I have so much fun with you. And I love doing these. So if there are specific topics that you would like for me to dive deeper in, or that you just feel like I really want this information, please like share them with me. Go on the Elevate Facebook group and ask them, or just say, Heidi, talk about this topic. The more that you tell me exactly what you want to hear from me, the easier it is for me just to like pump content out and talk about things. So I'll answer Melissa's question. And then we'll wrap this up. So Melissa, you're asking, why don't people use Instagram more for live chats like this? So I can only tell you why I don't use them. There's twofold. One, on the Instagram live, I've played around with those a little bit, and I can't tell yet if it's like worth my time or not. Number one, they only stay live for 24 hours. So I'm doing this with you right now, and I'm going to record it, and then it's going to be able to be on my, Vimeo and Facebook page, and I can reach a lot more people. I think that you can save the Instagram chat, but I don't know if it's as easily convertible. I'm not quite certain about that, but you can literally just, I'm pretty sure that on the Instagram live, you can just save it on the Instagram live, but you can't actually save the video. So if I'm wrong about that, please someone tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And so it's like, I just literally spent an hour and only the people that joined me live are seeing it, where this will now get posted a bunch of different places. And I most likely will have 500 views, or something like that over the next 2 weeks. And then the other part of it, there was one other part of it. Shoot, I'm forgetting. So one is the recording. I can't remember. Sorry. Okay. If I remember the other one, I'll let you know. Ladies, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure. I absolutely love this. And I love working with people one-on-one in these like short time spans, these like 3-hour focus. Catherine is on here right now. We actually, recently wrapped up an intensive with her. And I know that I can share that because her beautiful face and her experience of it is on my page. So go check that out and secure one of your spots if you're interested. And if you're not, totally fine. If you feel called to share it with one of your friends, please do that. And I will see you soon, I am sure, on another Facebook Live. Have an awesome day. Okay, bye-bye.